Good morning to everyone. I'm Academic Counselor H. BISWAS. Today, MMPH002, Human Resource Development. Today, I have to cover the unit number 11, 12, and some case studies. Also, we have to discuss regarding the case studies also, which are basically the practical of the HRD. So now, the block 4, there are two units in emerging trends and perspectives and HRD exercises. So, where the emerging trends of the HRD, where some of the effects influence, we can say, that is a political and legal environment, we have to consider it. Because nowadays the political issues and the legal issues are increasing globally. So within this scenario, within this environment, how to deal with the as organizations, how to deal with this, how to cope up the situations, that is a big challenge. So political climate of a country as expressed in terms of the political will in another factor. This is one of the factors that influence the business. For example, that's why the proactive government policies, the different type of schemes to stimulate the economy, the stability of the government, along with the easy of doing business, helps the business to flourish in the economy. So time to time, the government has taken a lot of initiatives so that the business can be flourished. We can invite the foreign investors, and organizations can also do in better way, and globally the competitiveness they can meet. It is also true that the multinational companies like IBM, GE, General Electric, the Accentures, etc., do evaluate the political stability of a country for their investment. Plant and machinery accordingly, and just like the individuals, groups would evaluate for individuals' investments. This is the FDI, foreign direct investments in the country, so that employment generations, product increase, export to the other nations, so all around development in a holistic manner to be done. So that is one of the emerging trends. Another, the social environment, also another factor, where the education, basically the education influence, that is the attitudes, values, value systems, ethics, and the lifestyle of the individuals. It is also a very important environment in a Indian economy, as well as for the business of the economy, business environment. The world has witnessed a progressions and change of the better in terms of the education and the literacy levels, resulting in a change in the workforce composition, with more and more representations of the women inclusions, women participations, and the people belonging to different backgrounds, geography, and the local classes, culture, all are the diversity. So all are the part of your social environment, and organization has to see considering the environmental conditions, so that in order to increase the productions are to be considered. Now another part is the CSR, because the social it is a mandate nowadays. The social for the improvement of the social systems, government, as per the government directives, it is a gazetted and notified. You have to any organizations consecutively 3 years if you profit, then 2% of their profit, net profit, they have to spend for the societal well-beings, for construction of your schools or hospitals or maybe the road constructions nearby, and so many other means are there. So this way you have to see the how to people of India, people of the your surroundings can be health-wise, everything they can happiness and their everything are to be considered, and altogether it is basically the well-being of the uh, employees as well as for the neighbors. Demographic environment is another aspect, another factor. In the present tense, it has also observed, as we know, the size of the uh, any workforce or size of the age, different age groups, workforce are increasing, and different age groups are coming up. The business are expected to keep the demographic factors. There's the age, gender, race, then ethnicity, and the location in order to arrive the at production and the services. Now, as per the statistics, India will add 183 million people to the working age group 50 to 64 years between 2022 to 2050. As per the UN population statistics database, they are saying that means India is one of the hub of the world where the youth, active people can be achieved, can be available. So, and again, is hoping that 22% of the global workforce coming from India. In the next 3 decades, it is they are predicted in the next 3 decades, that is up to 50, that's why they 2020 to 2050, though India is can generate can be available 22% of the workforce. So hiring and diverse the workforce is important. In all the organizations are recognizing the value of the hiring of the diverse workforce and taking the business decisions targeting the different groups. Now, competitiveness. Technology, what the way it has impact, because the competitiveness of the organizations is determined by the ability, speed, and the effectiveness which investment are the made for the technology business. Because technology can give you to increase the growth, ability, speed, everything are coming by the for the through this technology on. And improve the efficiency and the streamline the operations. Everything are can to be done by the technology on. Just for example, the cloud computing nowadays, you can use data, you can store mobile technology. As we know, worldwide, still a lot of research is going on. E-commerce, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc., and etc. Everything is a new development in the worldwide. And now, nation is the digital technology influences the business environment. These all are things are very much influences in the business environment. However, lot of check and points, security is also one of the aspect. Nowadays, it is a hue and cry. Lot of frauds, lot of hijacking, the data hijacking are going on. So still, this is a challenge area where a lot of work has to be done. it is a grave matter to restrict the things. So, lot of rule and regulations are to be implemented. Leadership is another point, because you have a technology, you have a manpower, everything, but you don't have a good leader. So leader is needed, because leaders drive the organizations to the high performance. Themes is basically the managing the developing talent. What are the talents? How to tackle them? How to handle the talent is requires the leaderships. Shaping the employing attitudes. All the employees are attitudes towards the positivity, towards the inclination of the organization's goal. So, who can do it? Leaders. Managing organized culture, how to monitor and to manage, to drive in that directions. So, culturally, who can do it? Leaders. So, integration and internationalization is also important, because if you are in a particular one pocket, it may not be sufficient. You have to see the globally. Your window should be broader idea. You have to take it so that you have to compete in the world market. So that internalization is also required. Who can do it? Leaders. So another challenge, the management challenge is that is a common word, VUCA, VUCK in abbreviations. The volatility, uncertainty, and complexity and ambiguity. So all are all together we can say VUCA. At times you see all the terms, you see the volatility, because every business are now the volatile natures. It cannot be static, dynamic natures are there. And a lot of uncertainties is also there. Complexity, because nowadays a lot of complex are in the business areas. Matching, mismatching, and everything are that's why sometimes the ambiguities are also creations. And as all these things I have seen during the pandemic time, we have that time also it is accelerated the trend and creating the number of new obstacles that time has come. So impact of the decision making functions, all these things are ultimately the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. All these terms in terms it will affect the decision making process. So the function of the things are sometimes not good. So that's why we have to focus on these areas. So how can we can tackle the things? I can manage the things. That is a real challenge for the management challenge. So HRD functions. That's why the HRD function they are recruiting, the training, and the retention suffer, calling the EPW managers, deal with such crisis situations, and predict the future. So we have to equip in such a way so that we can tackle all the situations when it is needed. That is a challenge, management challenge. Now, shaping the company culture, how to shape the things. So culture is one of the important points. The employees, engagement, and the productivity. So if you have a good culture in the organizations, then that culture will drive the employees to do some better good things, because they have to engage always, and creativity will be increased and the productivity also. So to create and maintain a workforce culture that enables the achievement of the organization goals. E-learning and other solutions. Through this way you can charge your teams so that they can rebuild, reset the mind. Individual performance can be improved. So that is basically your genuine business impact. So e-learning nowadays is very practical and very feasible also. Everywhere it is. Everywhere all the organizations are feeling that e-learning is required. Talent management. This is another aspect. Facing the problems of most of the software companies, because people are leaving sometimes after 2 years or 3 years. When they have learned enough, then the asset basically when the one of the employee skilled employee will leave the organizations, that means you are losing one of the asset. So considering keeping in mind in all these things, you have how to cope up the things. Moreover, first things you have to identify the talent. So pandemic has made the organization struggle to find the talent with the right skills, because during the pandemic time, that time the skilled people was very much needed, because one man can do 5 persons job. Some scaling and your multitasking jobs are only talent people can do it. So virtual recruitment and virtual onboarding and the induction facilities and the technology is all are responsible for the organizations to tide over the situations. If have a then you can have a good talent management. If you have a virtual recruitment process and you have adopted all the technologies like. So now, learning and developing is another aspect. Just driving the your agenda with the teams, and the managers can also support the and inclusion of the initiatives of the organizations. So the learning and development is one of the, in short, is the L&D, because people are saying common what is the L&D means the learning and development are needed. Based on the talent acquisitions team can have the strategies designed to attract the drivers pool of the talent for increase the innovations and the organizational success. So talent acquisitions are very much needed, because that can be achieved through these L&D only, and then only we can have a reach to the goals, targeted goals, and innovations, the organizational success are basically the based on the your how best practices you are adopted in the company for the learning and development purposes. Now, technology and digitizations. So changes in the organizational environment and the work environment has made the digitalizations no longer an option, but a necessary mode of survival. Now it is a necessary, it's needed, it's mandatory. You have to have a technological sense. Then only you can cope up, you can compete in the situations. So investing time and resources till the solution is found as a challenge that managers and the organizations have to consider. So sufficient time to be given to the managers or talent people so that they can think about it, that thought process, that type of brainstorming is required. This change is the technology, and the digitalization has enabled the organizations to embrace a digital business model. Because this technology and the digitalizations, it will enable, it will be very easily you can adopt the things and you can practice in the things. So that's that slowly most of the companies have adopted the business models. But you should have some infrastructure also. To do this, in important trends in the current context, the impact of the digitalizations on the HRD has been immense. The success of the HRD inventions and determined by the stage of the digitalizations. Now HRD aims. Now present scenario and what are the trends is going on. HRD aims is developing the capabilities. So that's why the capacity building, team building, all this program and the scheme has come. For whom? For the individuals, not only particular one level, workers level, supervisor, manager, even in the top level also. So that capabilities development or building, capacity building is required from all levels. And also to develop the interpersonal relationship, to inculcate the team spirits in the organizations. The analysis of the job and the job design, therefore, is essential to enhance the work efficiency and the effectiveness. So accordingly, based on these, we have to fix what type of job is required, job analysis part, and the job design is very important nowadays. So we have to fix in such a way so that their capability can be increased. So job analysis and the job design. So as I say, the job related tasks. What are the tasks? You have to reevaluate. You have to redesign the things and see so that they can directly the impact of the mentality and the physical health of the employees. My means it should not be overloaded and some should not be underloaded. So you have to see the equal loaded based on this mental capacity, mental strength, abilities, and the health also. Because accordingly you have to fix the job loaded. Before the loading the job, you have to see their capability, mental strength, and as well as the physical strength. Both the strength you have to see. Training. Training is basically the action plan. This is an action plan after the HRDS, lot of schemes, thought process has come, lot of alternatives has come, decision has been taken. Now it has to be implemented. So action is required. So training is the important activity of the HRD, which reinforce the HRD in the organizations. So HRD is a concept and is a consist of an organizational learning activities. Learning activities to fulfill these things. So that's why the TND, training and development is coming. So learning and development, another things. Here training, we are talking about the development. So training and the development activity have changed dramatically with the changes in the world of the business. Now, some of the objectives of the organizations, such as your specialized training is required across the country. That is your leadership, management, banking research, the risks, then your consumer market and the retail products, the rural markets, onboarding, orientation, and the leadership development program of the new entrants. So all are the present trends is going on for the area. This is the area where the specialized training across the country is required in the TND. So the remote working accepted as a new normal because everything are the post-COVID. We have seen that a lot of initiatives has taken by the different companies. E-learning has become the norm of the day nowadays. Great reliance of the technology implies more learning to the work efficiency. Now, upskilling and the reskilling of the workforce is another trend, that is to breach the skill gaps and the workforce. What their knowledge and what is really required, so that gap to be fulfilled through these training programs on the development. The switch occupations and the acquire new skills because of the increased of the automation, because automations, artificial intelligence, robotic, machine learning, everything is required to integrate, and what are the gaps has to be filled. Who can train, who can develop these things? To acquire to all these things is required special training and development program. Then we can handle all the situations. We can be expert in AI, we can be expert in the robotic systems. Someone has to operate the things. So that knowledge is required. So that type of workforce is required in the market. Now, Accenture has tied up with a lot of other organizations. They have developed this thing, how to increase their capability and the productions. So different companies have taken different initiatives. That is, the Accenture has already tied up with the Jamshedpur, XLRI Jamshedpur. Then so that they can have some certification courses. ICICI Bank has also set up a number of academics. of different functional areas as per their requirement for the improvement of the employees. Tata management is a training center of the Tatas. Then a lot of other groups are already there. There's some of the few examples for the superior training facilities provided to employees. And this is called the skill enhancement. Basically, all of the skill enhancement program. Career development, career planning, career development and the succession planning are another function area where strengthening is required to focus on the career planning and the career development so that we can achieve the retentions. Your human turnover can be reduced. Retaining of the people, employees, you can retain the people for 5 to 7 years if we have a good career planning. So employee will be happy. They can foresee. They can assume after 5 years where I will be. So accordingly, they can stay in the company. They can give more productions with a more enthusiasm in a positive way. So retention, how to retain the people is one of the things is career planning. If the organizations have a good career planning, definitely the talent people or skilled people are likely to be stay for a long time. Now, performance management, another thing, this function is reinforce the HRD functions because based on this performance appraisal systems, you can have a good database and you can reinforce where the area you can identify and accordingly you have to do it. So that's thought that renew and update the skill of the employees to include the performance cultures. So performance appraisal management is very important. Based on this, you can improve their culture. So performance appraisal helps organizations to take stock of their skill innovations, inventories, skill inventories. Yeah, actually the word is skill inventories. Means you can store sometime. Based on this, at least some group of people, talent people we have. That is some of your inventories. When it is required, you can immediately post it just like a commando force. You have some of the team, such teams. So performance standards and training helps to address the skill gaps and raise the standard of the performance. So performance management is one of the best function in the HRD, and which actually help to the other functions also. Information systems. Now, human resource information systems is another functions. Is another one of the functions HRA is. Through these way you can communicate the organizations to store, record, link, analysis, and retrieve the data about the human element within the organizations. Whenever it is required, you can get it the database, and that's why a strong and robust human information systems is required in a company. Then only you can have a good HRD result. I mean, the objectives can be fulfilled. So reinforce the and sharing of the information is helpful in the activities. Another aspect is to learn the acquire the new capabilities, refresh their exist abilities, thus the leading to the competitive advantage of the organizations. Strategies are to be required because strategies to achieve the same, align with the, so alignment strategy should be like this. Your alignment of the HRS, human resource information system with HRD, some sort of tie-up and align should be there so that it can be worked as a parallel. Integrations of the HRIS with the HR process. So these are some sort of some of the HRD integrations for the how to do it to get the result. And some sectors, some of the recent trends, some of the sectors that India represented, that is the IT industries, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology sector, tourism, and the hospitals. These are all of the areas are HRD functions are needed to be strengthened more. So it is projected that at least 9.2% of the Indian GDP in 2018 and in the financial year 20, the 9.2%. It is predicted. It was already stated. Now it is created 39 million jobs, which is 8.9% of the total employment. So this is the area, one of the area, as per the study, the tourism. And it is annual rate expected to grow. It is now expected to grow around 6.9% and the contributor of 9.9% of GDP by 2028. So it is point to be noted within a span of 10 years, coming 10 years, about 1 decade, that it will be increased in order. The rate of will be increased. Then at least contribution of 9.9% of GDP. So this is one of the area are important area. And then as we know that our fifth large economy in terms of GDP, our India, which is projected to reach $5 trillion by 2025. So it is expected in this session, this current year, will be a 5 trillion country. So some of the data is here. Even it is not a I think, static data. It is a dynamic. So as on date, it can be revised. It is all a dynamic figures, not a correct, not a stable figures. That's what I mean to say, because it is already calculated, surveyed, stated long back. So as on date, based on the business scenario, data can be changed. Now, what are the experiences? Because HRD as a concept between the population of, this is popular in the 1980. 1980, it is, the concept has come. Now, as for the F.W. Taylor's and Elton Maheu brought to light the need for the scientific training. And that time, that's why it is now, as on date, where we are now. So it is improving the efficiency and the productivity, keeping in view of that. Both the authors, Eltons and they have started. HRD training emerges, basically a training program, it will emerge the effective utilization of the human resources. What are the human resources? How to effectively use it so that with optimization, their potentiality can be increased. That's a challenge for the organizations and the HRD professionals to relation to the competitions at the global levels. So you have to identify the skill gaps, diversity, inclusions, facilities, and organizations learning, and you have to strengthen this HRD. So workplace transformations is also one of the, is to accelerate the things. And today we have faced a lot of challenges because you see the managing the layoffs, organizations, restructurings, making the urgent financial decisions. These all are the challenges we are facing, so that the employee can be wellness and adult. Idea is how to develop the other wellness, so that because of sometimes the restructuring problems and layoffs problems, these all of the factors are impacting on your wellness. So global, so that's why the HRD professionals should learn from the global best practices and the experiences where the other countries or some good companies, what they have adopted or not, and that should be followed by these things, and have to analyze the things, and based on their company situations, we have to adopt and have to do it, so that the transformations in the long run, keeping in view of the long run growth, so that transformation I have to prepare for that. So its relations to human resource management and the development. HRD basically is highlight part is the relation to human resource management and the development. So these are the present below some of the case studies. There is your HR planning or the workforce planning, then your job descriptions, recruitment, training and development, performance appraisals. So all are related to how create the relations of the human resources and to develop their capacity, and in turn they can contribute to the company in a very positive way. A company can be and toward the profit also, and meeting all the goals. Compensation development is also part is there. Then diversity management and the inclusions, employment, employee engagement. So all the area are experiencing, because compensation development means compensation package should be good so that they can have a good package of the company, so that employee can be happy, they can survive this. Diversity management, where the people are working together with different level of their culture, different IQs, different upbringing, and they are different. So everything are to be streamlined by the best practices to the organization, where one unified idea to be developed. Everybody has the inclusions of all the levels should be area to be considered inclusions in the lower levels and upper levels, middle levels. All the ideas of from the different levels, different sectors has to be considered. That inclusion is required. Engagement is one of the vital area. Employee engagement, because all the employees should not be idle or see the active people how to optimize their capacity. That is very important. So employment engagement are very needed for this exercise, for this type of HRD purposes. Ethics, one of the area to be, because what are the role play multicultural system, multinational companies where the diversity orientation program organizations, their ethics is very important. You have to behave, you have to culturally, have to follow the rule and regulation, disciplinary, all the things is a part of your ethics, business ethics and your human ethics, all the area you have to see. HR analytics, there are HR, as the HR analytics reflect the real-time research. So research is required in such a way so that you can identify what are the varieties that they are in the, so that you can map out, and correlations of the actual so that you can take actionable intelligence and actionable decisions. So HR analytics provides for the opportunity for the HR as a credible image of the company. They are based on the survey, based on the database, they have to analyze in different purposes, different segment areas, and idea they have to develop, and they can identify the picture, basically the gaps, where the loopholes, and where the problems, what the pitfalls of the companies, and accordingly they can give the solutions by the best solutions. So this is basically the analysis part. Now, here actually I have to the case studies is very important. Now I have to read out some of the case stories related to the company, and finally after that the question is there, and see how best answer we can prepare for these things. This is the Amber Pharmaceuticals. In a pharma company manufacturing and marketing drugs and medicines, the research staff has developed a number of new products and formulations which are effective. But at the same time, it has to meet severe competitions from stalwarts with foreign collaborations. Mr. Shah, the Vice President Marketing, has a very successful pharma marketing background. He has been with the company for the past 4 years. Mr. Shah had made ambitious plans for capturing a sizable share of the market in Gujarat. The company being medium size, Mr. Shah had kept his marketing department and the marketing team lean and thin. The field sales staff was given aggressive targets and where the virtually pushed to reach the respective targets. The field staff worked to their best abilities to complete their respective targets. Then Mr. Shah had himself been working at most almost 11 to 12 hours a day. There was no formal appraisals and reward systems in the company. During last 5 years, more than 60 medical representatives and area supervisors had left the company due to unsatisfactory increments and the promotions. Those who left the company were star workers, but Mr. Shah did not care for this high turnover. He was overconfident that he would be able to hire freshers and also select candidates who were not happy with their remunerations in their respective companies. Mr. Shah had never communicated to the field sales staff about their performance or reasons for not recognizing their outstanding performance in a few cases. There was, on the whole, great dissatisfactions and good performers were leaving the company. Now, question is, what do you perceive in the basic problem in our life? From this story, the case is, what is your perceptions? What is the problem? Basic problems you have to identify in the pharmaceutical companies. Second question is, what are the steps you will take serially to correct the situations? As a manager, suppose you are as a manager, performance as a HRD managers or HR managers, what the way you can correct the situations? Third question is, in the event of your suggesting a performance appraisal systems, how will you decide a suitable system of the appraisals? And second part, will your system include the merit, rewards, and promotions? So, to study, actually case study, always you have to go through the story first. One time or two times you have to go through this. Maybe you will identify this answer is lying there. Answer you will get it from there. First of all, you have to see what are the problems faced, where the area, maybe the personal appraisal systems are not good, maybe was not communicated, somewhere the failure of the communications. He has not engaged the employees, what the decision he has taken, maybe he has not taken the decisions by the consultation with the employees. So that is, so many aspects are there. Even though Mr. Shah is very good, he is also working 11 to 12 hours in the company. He is giving his full best, but the leadership skill is also a question. Now let's see. First questions. What do you perceive? Let's have an analysis for the first questions. So what do you perceive in the basic problem they have? Answer should be the basic problem in Amber is the absence of formal appraisal systems. The first things, there is no formal appraisal systems. Then the company does not have a proper systems to evaluate its employees and hence to link the rewards with the performance. Maybe the employees are working very hard, but that reward system is not there. Because those who are really working hard, you have to give us some rewards for them. So that's why there is no reward system specifically. Because it does not have a proper system to evaluate his employees and hence to link to the rewards of the performance, which creates job dissatisfaction. Because of that, that job dissatisfaction has occurred and reduces the morale of the employees. The company, again, after that, the company does not give to due recognitions to the good performers. Another point is this. Because when the people are working nicely, you have to appreciate. You have to give some, at least verbally you can say the thank you or good, well done. At least the type of free words, motivational word is required apart from the money or award. That is extra. That's things. So that's why those who are really good performers, you have to appreciate them in front of all, or you can have a meeting. Within the meeting, you can discuss. You can say, yes, he is the best performance in this month. Or maybe there are 2 or 3 persons are, you can collect, identify the things, those who are good performers in particular year. Then you can, this is the way you can develop. Now, besides that, the goals that are being set are too ambitious because here actually the field staff are targeted heavily. You have targeted the people, but you are not nurturing them, you are not talking them, you are not motivated them. How it can be? So ambitious. So too ambitious. The goal setting should be smart. Basically, the idea is you have to give us some solution also. The goal setting should be smart. SMART, smart. It means specific. Your setting should be specific. And that is another way you can say the goal should be feasible, achievables, targetables. Means then people will have measurables. Another point is measurables, achievables, and relevant. That is the smart word is coming. S for specific, aim for your measurables, A for achievables, and R for relevant, and time, T for time frames, within the time frames. So time frame we are deciding, you have to give some sufficient portions also. Some this is not 5 days work, you have to do it in 1 day. It might not be possible, not feasible. So time frame should be realistic. So realistic time frame has to have to give it. So goal settings should be in a smart way. So that is the first question's answer is like this. First of you have to point it out, which are the gaps, which are the areas, performance appraisal system areas, the reward system is not there, goal setting is not correctly they have done. So that is the problems in the Amber municipal companies. Now coming to your second questions. Second questions, B question, what are the steps you will take seriously to correct the situation? So now chronologically or serially you have to see how to solve these problems. The steps I would like in this case to correct the problems are: number 1, that is organize the exit interviews of those who are leaving. As the case describes the fact that the attritions has increased because people are dissatisfied, they are leaving the organizations. As we have seen in the story, it is the end of the story that people are leaving. So attrition levels has to be reduced. It should not be increased. This is going to tell us as to why the attrition rate is high, which will in turn help us to solve the problems, as it will give the correct picture of organizations in minds of the employees. First things you have to, this is the first steps. Now you have identified the things, you have now catch the points where the problems, pitfalls. Now formulate and implement the formal appraisal systems. You have to formulate, you have to rethink, you have to design your appraisal systems. It should be quarterly, it may be half-yearly, it may be annually. What the way, what should be the parameters should be there. Employees writing portions, subordinates, immediate seniors, you have to write review officers. So this is the way you can structure the things. This is the formation of the appraisal systems. Then link rewards with the performance in form of performance limited incentives. Some of the performance linking is not a limited, there is a linking. Performance link incentives, which will motivate the employees. So some award systems are to be linked with the performance. Means suppose if you fulfill the target 50%, you'll get a 2,000 rupees something. Or if you fulfill the 100% of your target, then you can get a 10,000 rupees. This is the way monetary, or maybe you get some certificate, or so many ways you can declare. You can motivate the people. Now, then set targets of the individual after the discussions with him and following the smart. So when you are giving a target, any job or any things in the employees, even in the subordinates, so you have to discuss that this is the target you are willing to do is not, or any deviation, any modification is required, you are ready to do it. So that type of discussions is required, then you can fix it. So that is the steps are like this. Now coming to third question, last questions. Where in the event of your suggesting a performance appraisal systems, how will you decide a suitable system in the appraisals? Answer is, the performance appraisal systems should be based on evaluating two criteria. So there should be two criteria when you are evaluating the performance systems. First, one of the things you have to consider, you have to see the behavior throughout the year, particular the financial year or appraisal system year, what he has behaved is very aggressive, or being the normal, or not interactive. So this is the way, is the pattern of the behaviors that also you have to consider it. Another things, the results, when the yes meet the target or not, which the expectation yes, objectives, what are the objectives, meet the target, organizational targets, is individual targets, really it is compensated. So this is the way you have to see the overall result of the things. So there should be two criteria. One part is behavioral parts, his attitudes, his technicality, technical knowledge, his behavior, and what the way is the correlations, interpersonal relations with the employees and the seniors. So all these things as a part. Another part A or part B. Part A means behavioral parts, and part B should be the result, actual performance of the technical job related. So this is the way you have to evaluate the things. There are 4 key elements in a good performance and appraisal systems. Set objectives. Decide what you want for employees and agree these objectives with them. If appropriate, set time frame. First you discuss, yes, yes, sir, no problem, I can do it within this time. Then you have to set a time frame. How many days it is? 3 months, 4 months, how months? Because there are maybe four projects or four type of tasks is there, activities, four activities toward the area of department. First activities within a 3 month you can complete. Second activities you can complete with another 3 months. So this is the way you have to time frame you have to fix it, and that should be written by the discussion with the employee. You have to fix it. So this is so that within this time frame it can be achieved. That is the set of the objectives. Now, second, merge the performance. Give your employees the tools, resources, and training they need to perform well. Because if you are giving objectives, set the objectives, giving the tasks, time frame, everything, but you are not providing any tools, supporting systems, then what the way he can perform? So that's why you have to manage the performance by providing tools, training and department, trainings, so that he can perform well. Third is carry out the appraisals. Carry out the appraisals. Monitor and assess your employees' performance. Discuss those assessments with them and agree on future objectives. So during this process, appraisal process, you have to time you have to monitor the things and see they are in main line or not, or discuss if any help is required, any assistance is required to fulfill these things. So that type of assessment is required. Provide the rewards and remedies. That is the last thing. So consider pay awards or promotion based on the appraisal, and discuss and decide how to tackle poor performance. So you have to see those who are poor performers, how to tackle these things. You have to motivate them to give some another time frame, or you have to some training may be needed. However, they can be dangers as well as the benefits of linking towards performance. Sometimes those who are not performing good, then maybe they can create some of the problems. So that's why it is a very area where you have to look after how to manage things. So this is also one of the things. Somebody or people, some people are getting the words and remedies, and some of the employees are not getting. They may create some problems. So that things also to be considered. Will your system include merit, rewards, and promotions? Yes, answer is definitely. System should include rewards, as discussed in the above answers. The performance-linked incentives and the rewards motivate the employee. Suppose if you perform these things, you will get things. Every month performance, some of the companies are monthly basis performance. In our system, incentive system is there. Some of the companies quarterly incentive systems are there. Some of the companies, if you meet the target, then you will get some of the incentives. If you above the, suppose your target again 10%, 20% extra you have done, then maybe you have to get extra incentives. So that type of linking, performance linking incentives are required, which will motivate the employees. This is the way. So revise all these things. So from this case study, so first things we have seen the company's problems. First, you have to identify what are the identification of the problems area. You have to identify the things, then pointed out the things, and then up to one by one you can give some solutions. So how to tackle the things based on these theories, management theories. Performance here actually I'm talking about the based on this. Basically, this here the performance problem was there. Performance appraisal system problem was there. They are not talking with the employees. They are targeted. There is no object-based objective setting systems. No award systems was good. So all these problems you have identified. And then how to, second question was like this, how to tackle the evaluate the things. There's one of the basic things which I have done, basic behavior pattern parts and other result parts. Then you have to, it will be justified the systems. If you see one person has very good results, but his behavior is good, but not good, then it may be a problem. So we have to see balancing with both the things. And finally, you have to give suggestions what type of things are required. This is manage performance, carry out the purpose, provide the reward remedies, and finally, this is the way. So this is the very it's the one of the example of the case studies. When in future also in the management studies is basically the case study is one of the important, because your application, this is basically the application of your management study, which you have studied. Now based on this, you have to take decisions. This is all the decision, the practical part. MBA management part. This is the practical. The theory, practical. Now today, I have discussed these things. In future also, I will try to give you some of the more case studies in the forthcoming sessions. So okay, I think now almost session is nearing to over. So thank you very much. Thank you.